Good evening, everyone. This is Charles with the Exodus Logistics Learning Center, America's #1 dispatcher and freight broker training. Um, First of all, Happy New Year. Today is February 3rd, 2023. We're talking about the transportation industry. Um, a couple of announcements. The main one is, one of the announcements is we are extending our 25% off New Year's sale for our ongoing trainings on the dispatcher side as well as the freight broker side. Until that's now good through not just January 31st, but all the way through February 28th. So the whole month of January and the whole month of February now. So 25% off of the ongoing training. So whatever the price points are for single member and 2-for-1, single member and 2-member ongoing training for dispatcher, as well as single member and 2-member freight broker ongoing trainings. They are 25% off with the promo code 2023. Okay, we've extended that. Number one. Number two, if you see the screen here, we had our first inaugural load board mastermind seminar training where we, the ELLC Exodus Logistics Learning Center, teamed up with Legacy Dispatchers, and we did we had a 3-hour. Our first part of that training was 3 hours, which was very, very good, very detailed. And then we got involved so much that we had to do a part B, which was this past Thursday. So it was so much detail and so high demand that we'd want to have another one on the screen Thursday, March 2nd, 2023, from 2 to 4 p.m. Right, which we're going to try to do 2 hours, but it will probably be more like 3 hours. This is usually catered for non-members of our either dispatcher and or freight broker side, because we go into the very basics of what a load board is, how to navigate the load boards as it relates to, for a dispatcher, as it relates to finding freight for your carrier, for your owner operator, for your dispatcher, irregardless of their equipment type. But we focus on the 3 major equipment types because we feel those are the easiest, right? And then as a freight broker, when you get freight or shipments or loads from your shipper and you've ran out of resources from your carrier network, then you post those loads on a load board to the spot market to see if carriers will call you if your rates are good. If your rates are not good, you're not going to get a phone call. That's just as simple as that. The market has been down. I'll be honest with you. The market is down, but it's making a turn to come back around. So as it relates to understanding the full usage of the load boards, what is a load board? What is its purpose? How to navigate it? What are some of the features that I can understand and use on the load boards so that I can find either loads for my carriers from a dispatcher's perspective or post my loads from a freight broker's perspective? Okay. We get into the very basics for those who know very little, if anything, about load boards. So we're having our second go at this as far as the load board mastermind seminar. So if you are someone, particularly if you're not enrolled in our dispatcher or our freight broker ongoing membership training, you're not going to get as much load board training as if you were, right? So this is an opportunity for you to sign up and reserve your spot. And again, seats are limited because we had a small crowd, and we got into detail when we asked the questions. We actually found a load for one of Legacy Dispatcher's carriers, called a broker on that load and had that conversation. So you get a chance to see in real time what it's like for a dispatcher's day when they are finding a load, looking up a load according to the requirements of their carrier and the carrier's profile, what they require of you as a dispatcher in order to find a load, get a result set of that finding, and then look the broker up. In some cases, vet them. Some load boards have credit checks for the brokers. Others do not. So we go into safer. And find a load, look a load up for them, right? So we go into detail of what that means. Every field that you look for a load for your carrier, and you filter according to the carrier's criteria, we define what that is and what that means so you understand what you're using. Most people have very little understanding of certain fields on the load board and may not be utilizing it to the full potential of their carrier. So we go into detail of what that is and define what it is, put everything in layman's terms so that someone who knows very little, if anything, about load boards and keeping their carriers running can understand, right? So as new dispatchers, you will have a use for the load boards. That's why we want to have this load board mastermind seminar. At some point, you will graduate to removing yourself from usage of the spot market load boards and getting into direct shippers and direct customers and relationships with brokers over time as you build your dispatching or freight brokerage over time. So we have people who will argue that, you know, the load boards are not good, the spot market is not good, which if you can get direct shippers and direct customers as a broker or a dispatcher and move freight, that is the ultimate win for you. But until that happens, that's not going to happen out the gate. And I don't care who tells you otherwise, it's not going to happen out the gate. You have to, at some point, understand how to use a load board. Even if you get a direct shipper and relationships with brokers, you may get line haul loads. You may get dedicated one-way loads, but at some point, you're going to need to find what's called a reload or a backhaul. So you're going to rely on the load boards. Unless you get relationships on the line haul, as well as the reload or the backhaul in, and again, over time, that's going to take time, right? You're never going to not need a load board, okay? So why not learn it from a very basics perspective? So if you or someone you know needs to have an understanding, if you are in this field, in transportation, as a dispatcher or a freight broker, and you need to understand the tools and resources that you're using better, right? Better, particularly in this case, the load boards, I invite you to consider signing up for our load board mastermind seminar, where we go over the load board concepts in very beginner level detail, right? So our next one is March 2nd, that Thursday, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Why that time, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m.? It is because that's the afternoon time where brokers are getting there. They're trying to get their freight moved for the afternoon, for the day. We could have done it for a morning time, but most people are probably at work. So Thursday, March 2nd, we chose a time that parallels the time that the brokers are working, you know, trying to get their shipments moved for their customers. So we can call them so they're willing to pick the phone up and have conversations with you. We talk about strategies and things like that too. So Thursday, March 2nd, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. If you have a dispatching company and you're not enrolled in our ongoing training, where we do give you load board training from a basics perspective, but you want to know what we do behind the scenes, then I invite you to join and sign up for our load board mastermind seminar, right? This is aimed at dispatchers as well as freight brokers. You get to ask questions. We get to go into very grave detail after the phone calls if you didn't understand what was said and how it was said and what techniques you can use for your dispatching company or for your freight brokerage. You get to ask those questions and we answer them literally right there. And we break it down for you so that you can understand and make your dispatching company or your freight brokerage a little bit better. Okay, so see you there. Look forward to seeing you. Hopefully you sign up before March 2nd. Seats are limited. Take advantage of them. Oh, by the way, when you do take the course, you get 3 free ebooks, our dispatching ebooks. You get a glossary, and you get the opportunity to use what you paid for the seminar towards the purchasing of the ongoing training. In other words, we deduct the cost of this seminar from the cost of the ongoing training, and it will invoice you the difference. So you get to apply this course towards your training, right? And that's whether it's the dispatching side or the freight broker side. So something else to keep in mind. So you get gems, you get gifts, and you get an opportunity to use a voucher of your purchase for this seminar towards ongoing dispatcher or ongoing freight broker. So value upon value upon value. So hopefully you guys will consider that. Here's some basic level training, giving you a kickstart into the industry. Again, this is a good industry to still be in. It's not going anywhere as always. Things move, freight move, transportation is never going anywhere. So you just got to find your niche, broker, dispatcher, trucking, however you want to do it. So, but right now, Load Board Mastermind Seminar, Thursday, March 2nd, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take advantage of what we have available for you, and never know, may be helpful. All right? Talk to you later.